71% of Americans believe the terror attacks and other acts of violence that have taken place this year are now a permanent part of American life. That, according to the new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll. American security will, therefore, be a central focus of tonight's GOP debate. So whose views are going to stand out? Let's bring in townhall.com political editor and Fox News contributor Guy Benson, Independent Women's Forum Director of Health Policy Hadley Heath Manning, and Republican strategist and Fox News contributor Tony Saig. Welcome to you all. Guy, first to you. I know the L.A. School closings are debatable now, whether they should have done it, but did they change the talking points of this debate? They must have already, I'm sure it was at the top of the agenda, but they must have created some new talking points for the candidates, no?
Well, I think definitely, David, there is a heightened concern among the American people about national security. That was already going to dominate tonight's conversation. Foreign policy, national security, keeping the American people safe, and the scare that we saw this morning in Los Angeles, more than 600,000 students staying home because of a supposed terror threat. People are on edge, and I think we're going to hear a lot about that from the candidates here. Now,
Hadley, last week, all the other candidates beat up on Trump for his suggestion of how we handle the refugee thing, keeping Muslims out for at least a while. Today, we get polls showing the American public pretty much approves, or at least those who are going to vote for Trump increased in amount. Look at this, a 38% approval. Are the candidates going to be a lot less reluctant to criticize him because he did so well with this issue?
Well, certainly going head-to-head with Donald Trump in a debate setting has been difficult for a lot of candidates so far. None of them, except for maybe the exception of Carly Fiorina and her comments about her face, have come away from an exchange with Trump in a debate really getting the better of him. But you're right, the refugee crisis is tangentially related to so many of these other issues, whether it's national security, foreign policy, and the broader issue of immigration as a whole. These will all be issues that come up tonight, and you'll see stark contrast among the different Republicans where they have differences on these issues.
Just staying with you for a second, Hadley, I'm thinking that perhaps candidates may want to rethink their attack on Donald's refugee policy because of the fact he did so well with it. Do you think they may pull back a little from their criticism?
Well, candidates are going to have to stick to whatever policy platforms they believe are best and explain to the American people why they would take a different position than Mr. Trump. If they agree with Mr. Trump, that's one thing. But if they're going to talk about the issues, then they have to stand for what they believe in rather than changing and going with the flow of the tides. You know, reflecting what's in public opinion polls isn't really a matter of principle.
No, it's not. But again, that's what they're going for, is the votes. And Tony, on the other hand, you had Trump criticized by a number of his longtime supporters. Rush Limbaugh came out yesterday and suggested he went too far in his attacks against Ted Cruz. Let's play the tape and get your reaction.
Genuine conservative, even in the Republican field, would not go after Cruz this way. So I just raised red flag for me. Made me somewhat curious.
Did it raise a red flag for you, Tony?
Well, look, no doubt. It's confirmed what I've thought all along, which is the real challenge to Donald Trump is going to come from the right, not from the establishment. And look, when you really think about the audience that supports Donald Trump, there's this misnomer that it's the talk radio show audience, the Rush Limbaugh, Mark Levin, Sean Hannity listeners. No, that audience is by far much more part of the larger conservative movement that aligns with Ted Cruz. So when you think of Donald Trump, this impression is that he's only appealing to frustrated conservatives. He's probably appealing more to frustrated Americans, more than just a partisan group. And when you think about the fact that he was criticized, Donald Trump criticized Cruz for fighting, for basically taking on the establishment in the Senate, it's antithetical to what conservatives believe is something bad. They actually support Cruz and often have backed him up when he's done it throughout the last 3 years in the Senate.
Very good point. Guy, by the way, I envy you. Turn around and look at that Venetian background that you have there. That is one of the coolest sets in the world, at least in America, except for the real thing. Some people prefer Las Vegas to the real thing. Hey, thanks, guys. Enjoy, Guy. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Melissa.
Thank you.